Hello and welcome. Today we're cracking open a really practical guide, something we're calling the Citizen's Toolkit Against Public Nuisance. And trust me, this isn't about some dusty old law book. It's all about how you can take meaningful action right in your own community.
So, let's imagine this for a second. A brand new factory moves in down the street, and it is so noisy all day, all night. Or maybe that little stream nearby suddenly starts to smell just awful. It's easy to feel kind of helpless in those situations, right? Well, what if I told you there's a legal toolkit that was literally designed for these exact problems?
That whole toolkit is built around a really powerful legal idea: public nuisance. This is the framework, the set of rules that gives you and your neighbors the power to stand up and fight back against things that threaten your community's well-being.
And here it is, straight from the source, Section 268 of the Indian Penal Code. Legally speaking, it's any act that causes common injury, danger, or annoyance to the public. Now, the key word there, the one to really focus on, is common. This isn't about your personal pet peeve. It's about a harm that affects a whole group of people living in the same area.
And you know, this whole idea is way older than you might think. It all comes down to this ancient Latin principle: sic utere tuo ut alienum non laedas. It sounds fancy.
It basically translates to this: use your own property in such a way that you don't hurt someone else's. To put it even more simply, your rights end right where someone else's begin. You can absolutely enjoy your property, but you can't do it in a way that harms your neighbors or the community around you. It's really the legal version of the golden rule. Just be a good neighbor.
Now, it's really important to get this difference straight. A private nuisance is something that only affects you. Maybe your neighbor's tree drops all its leaves into your yard and clogs your gutters. But a public nuisance, and that's our focus here, is something that impacts the whole community. And this distinction is absolutely crucial, because when the public's welfare is on the line, the state itself can get involved.
So, what does a court actually look for when they're trying to decide if something is a public nuisance? Well, it pretty much boils down to these four key things. First, the act has to be unreasonable. Second, it's often indirect. Think about things like fumes or noise or vibrations. Third, and this is crucial, it has to interfere with a public right. And finally, it's usually not a one-time thing. It's typically something that's continuous or happens over and over.
Okay, so what happens when someone actually creates a public nuisance? This is where our toolkit gets some real teeth. The Indian Penal Code lays out very specific punishments. This is the stick, you could say, to make sure people comply.
This table gives us a really great snapshot. You can see the law targets very specific kinds of harm. For instance, Section 277 is all about protecting our public water sources. Section 278 deals with polluting the air. And yeah, that fine might seem small today, but it's the principle that really counts. And check out Section 291. If a court orders you to stop a nuisance and you just don't, that's a serious offense. And whoa, look at Section 432. Blocking public drainage could land you in jail for up to 5 years. They are not messing around.
Knowing the penalties is one thing, but how do you actually stop a nuisance from happening? Okay, this next section is probably the most empowering part of our whole toolkit. This is the practical, step-by-step guide to taking action. When you need action, and you need it fast, you turn to the Code of Criminal Procedure, the CrPC. Section 133 is an incredibly powerful tool. It lets a local executive magistrate just order the problem to be removed. If there's some kind of imminent danger, Section 142 allows for an immediate injunction, which is a court order to stop the activity right now. And Section 143 can be used to make sure it doesn't happen again. Think of these as your emergency response tools.
But what if you need a long-term, permanent fix? That's where civil law comes into play. A group of people who are affected can file a suit together, and this gives the court some really powerful options. They can issue a perpetual injunction. That's a permanent order to stop the activity for good. Or they can go even further with a mandatory injunction, which actually forces the offender to do something, like making a polluter build a whole new water treatment plant.
So, how do you choose the right tool for the job? Well, it really all comes down to your goal. If the problem is an immediate danger that needs to be stopped now, then the criminal procedure route, the CrPC, is your rapid response. But if it's a long-standing issue that needs a permanent, rock-solid solution, then civil law is the path you're going to want to take. Now, you might be wondering, do I need to get my whole neighborhood to sign a petition for this to work? And thanks to a really important court ruling, the answer is a clear and simple no.
The court decided that if a nuisance affects people in the vicinity, it only takes one person who is suffering to get the law involved. Your single complaint has the power to protect the entire community.
And listen, this stuff gets real results. We're talking about communities using these very tools to permanently shut down a flour mill that was causing unbearable noise. They've forced a factory kicking up hazardous dust to move away from a doctor's clinic. They even got a hospital that was posing a disease threat moved out of a residential area. These are real victories, won by regular citizens. Okay, now I want to tell you about one of the most important cases in this entire area of law. It's an absolute game changer for citizen rights. It's the story of how ordinary people actually held their own government accountable for public health. We need to talk about the landmark Ratlam case. At the very heart of this case is this powerful statement from the Supreme Court: financial inability is no defense. Just let that sink in for a moment. This is a huge deal. It means that when it comes to your health and safety, the government can't just throw its hands up and say, sorry, the budget's tight.
So here's the story. The people living in Ratlam were dealing with overflowing open drains and just a total lack of basic sanitation. It was a serious health crisis. And the municipality's excuse? They said they were broke, that they had no money to fix it. Well, the Supreme Court completely rejected that. They ruled that the duty to protect public health is absolute. It's non-negotiable. And that case armed citizens everywhere with an incredibly powerful tool.
This next case, this one is all about empowering you, the individual. The court clarified that a public nuisance doesn't have to affect the entire country or even a whole city. If the immediate vicinity, your neighborhood, is suffering, that's enough. And crucially, this case confirmed that it only takes one vigilant citizen to bring the issue to a magistrate. You don't need to gather a whole crowd to take action. And this final case proves that no one, and I mean no one, is above the law. Even an organization that was created and authorized by the government can be stopped if its actions are threatening the health of the community. It's such a clear statement from the courts. Public safety is more important than official authority, period.
Cool. Phew. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground, so let's pull all of this together into a simple step-by-step guide. Think of this as the instruction manual for your legal toolkit.
Let's just walk through it. Step 1, identify the harm. Is this a community-wide problem? Step 2, choose your path. Are you going for the fast criminal route or the permanent civil one? 3, file the action. That means a complaint to a magistrate or a civil lawsuit. 4, prove it. You need evidence. And finally, step 5, the court makes sure its order, whatever it is, gets followed. See? It's a clear roadmap from problem to solution. So, if you only remember a few things from our time today, make it these. First, the core idea is public nuisance, a harm against the whole community. Second, you've got a fast path for quick relief. Third, you've got a permanent path for lasting solutions. And finally, never, ever forget the Ratlam rule. We're broke is not an excuse for the government to ignore public health.
And with that, this explainer comes to a close. The toolkit is now in your hands. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What public nuisance in your community is waiting for a solution?